Democrats are rushing impeachment to obstruct bombshell investigations of billions in money, laundering, and kickbacks, all ran by Obama officials during the Obama administration. The real story behind the Dems' rush for impeachment has finally emerged, thanks to all the investigatory work done by Rudy Giuliani. We now know that prominent Democrats ran billions of dollars in money laundering, extortion, and kickback schemes, all through the Ukraine, while Joe Biden was the point man, funneling cash to their own pockets through an elaborate network of shell companies and corporate fronts, all part of the scheme. In a sense, Rudy Giuliani, a former federal prosecutor, just uncovered the equivalents of the Panama Papers of the Democratic Party. Ukrainian officials offered up 6 criminal cases involving Joe and Hunter Biden, including a money laundering scheme. One Ukrainian official produced official communications and documents he says proves that Obama's U.S. ambassador to the Ukraine and impeachment witness Maria Yovankovitch perjured herself during her hearing. Another, Viktor Shokin, the former Ukrainian prosecutor general, described how then President Petro Poroshenko came into his office and told him he'd better stop investigating Hunter Biden, or the country would lose $1 billion in aid, as Joe Biden threatened. Shokin was fired. And there are dozens of inquiries open into possible misallocation of U.S. funds in the Ukraine, with the U.S. Embassy's involvement. Now remember, Joe Biden was the front man, the point man, put into play over here by Obama to get rid of all the corruption. But man, it seems like the corruption just flourished under Biden being point man. And then on the 15th of December 2019, Rudy Giuliani from his official Twitter account tweets this: witness Yuri Lysenko, inheritor of Shokin's office, records proving Erin Yovankovitch perjured herself at least twice, doc showing she was denying visas to the witnesses who could prove Biden and Dem corruption. Clear doc proof of money laundering by Bermushma and the Bidens. Let's watch this clip right here.
Schiff's star witness is perhaps not as truthful as he would need us to believe, but worse, that she was actively, personally involved in investigations at the Prosecutor General's office. An unusual and unethical scenario, to say the least. But following Lutsenko's side of the story, it gets worse. When Lutsenko found a case in which $7 billion went to the U.S. via possible money laundering to a firm called Franklin Templeton, he wanted to help. He wanted help from the Justice Department to track down and retrieve this money. Considering how interested Yovanovitch was in the status of certain cases at the Prosecutor General's office, Lutsenko thought Yovanovitch would be helpful. She wasn't. In fact, she played the bureaucratic dunce.
I was once again shocked when Madame Yovanovitch told to members of the committee that Lutsenko asked me to organize his meeting with American Attorney General. But you know, gentlemen, that there is a procedure for this, she told. The procedure that Lutsenko should, or even must, give us a short topic, what points he wants to discuss with American law enforcement bodies. And Yovanovitch said, and he never gave us such an information. I have bad news for Madame Yovanovitch. This is my letter, my deputy letter, to request for cooperation in investigation against the criminal organization of Yanukovych and regarding possible investment in the US based mutual and other funds for the purpose of money laundering. Dear Legal Attaché, Office of the Legal Attaché, U.S. Embassy.
When is this dated?
The October of 2017. The October of 2017. Here is stamps, signature, everything.
And she claimed before Congress that she never received a copy.
Under oath.
And then on December 15th, 2019 at approximately 2:13 p.m., Rudy Giuliani tweets this: Dems impeachment for innocent conduct is intended to obstruct the below investigations of Obama-era corruption. Billions of money laundered, billions mostly U.S., widely misused, that's taxpayers' dollars, extortion, bribery, DNC collusion with Ukraine to destroy candidate Trump. Much more to come. Are you hearing this? Super sleazy, sleepy, creepy quid pro Joe. That's right. This was the point man in the Ukraine. Giuliani tweets this on the 15th of December 2019 at 2:10 p.m. Budapest, Kyiv, Vienna. After hundreds of hours and months of research, I have garnered witnesses and documents which reveal the truth behind this impeachment, which includes no wrongdoing by @real Donald Trump. These threads only touch the surface. Read and watch all. More to come.
In their own words,
I'm concerned that if we don't impeach this president, he will get reelected.
with their Russia collusion scheme dead in the hands of Robert Mueller over the summer, the Democrats picked themselves up by the bootstraps. New season, new crime. The crime? It changed by the hour, but seemed to more or less settle on the idea that Trump must be impeached because he withheld aid from Ukraine and asked Ukraine to look into corruption and Joe Biden. Little did they foresee that their evidence was not only inadmissible in a court of law, but that their inquiry would only expose their star candidate Joe Biden to actual scrutiny over his dealings in Ukraine. In part one, we sat down with President Trump's personal attorney, America's Mayor Rudy Giuliani. We broke down the Schiff and Democrat charges. We asked why Giuliani was involved in Ukraine in the first place, addressed the so-called conspiracy theories, and discussed Schiff's ragtag lineup of second-hand witnesses. In part two, we introduced 3 Ukrainian witnesses tracked down and flown into Washington, a top official, a diplomat, and a member of Ukrainian parliament. Each gave first-hand sworn testimony that the Democrat Party colluded with Ukrainian officials to interfere in our 2016 elections. More specifically, the Democrat Party enlisted the help of a foreign government to harm the Republican Party candidate, Donald J. Trump, committing the exact crime Democrats accused President Trump of committing during the Mueller investigation. In concluding part two, we learned there were witnesses who claimed to have testimony and evidence directly contradicting the Democrats' one-sided impeachment inquisition.
This is a pattern that's been going on for 2 years. Must have at least 5 or 6 or 7 Ukrainian witnesses who will say that over the course of the last 2 years, they've tried to come to the United States to give us evidence of vast collusion by the Ukrainians to affect Democrats in the 2016 election, and solid evidence of the corruption involved in Biden getting his son in order to protect the Burisma company.
I've been keeping a close eye on this and following Rudy. Now, he's revealed a huge money laundering operation involving the Bidens, Burisma Holdings Company. Money was flowing through. It was flowing through disguised as loans to various tech companies, then paid out as board fees through Hunter Biden. This is a straight-out violation of money laundering statute, Giuliani said. Giuliani revealed that there is documents showing Adam Schiff's star witness, fired U.S. ambassador to the Ukraine, Maria Yankovich, perjured herself at least twice during her impeachment testimony. Documents prove Yankovich was personally involved in the Ukraine Prosecutor General's investigations and denied visas to the witnesses who could prove Biden Dem corruption, Giuliani stated. Now, the Democrats launched a sham impeachment inquiry against President Trump because he was doing his duty to get to the very bottom of the Ukraine corruption involving Obama-era officials and other Democrats, such as Point Man, put in charge by Obama, which was Joe Biden. The Obama administration and Democrats were using Ukraine as a conduit to launder millions, if not billions, of dollars, of U.S. dollars, of U.S. tax dollars. Yes, your tax dollars, our tax dollars. And now Trump has threatened to bring down the whole damn house of cards on him. In the end, the impeachment of Trump isn't about protecting democracy or any such lie being used by Nancy Pelosi. Have you noticed they're all using the Constitution, the framers? They got flags behind them now. This is all about protecting the money laundering racket that they've enjoyed for nearly all high-level officials have enjoyed for many of moons. All right? Both Democratic and Republican. This crosses both aisles. The last thing they want is proof to emerge that confirms what the American people have been thinking all along, that Washington, D.C. officials and the power brokers are crooks. They're criminals. They're all con men. They loot the pocketbooks of the American people while pretending to be acting in the national interest, the best interest of us all. It's all hogwash, as Joe Biden expertly demonstrates. It's always about how they can squirrel away more money for themselves at the expense of others. And Trump has been silenced because he stumbled onto what may be the most outrageous criminal money laundering scheme this country has ever seen, well above what the mobs used to do. Like I said the other day, this is the college scam 2.0. Where do the kids go after? I mean, we've known, if we just found out about the whole college scheme, where have the kids been going for 30 years before we just found out about it? And we were just seeing some of the actors and Hollywood people and their kids, how they go through and bribe the schools. Well, this also happens with the politicians in places like Harvard and Yale and Stanford. I mean, then they put their kids over in these places. These are the ones that don't get a whole bunch of interest or notoriety. They kind of operate under the veil, and the kids are put there as a conduit to get all the money out of that country. Despite what else you think about Trump, and I'm not happy about like his position on GMOs, for example, but Trump is the only person who is meticulously working to expose and tear down the entire criminal house of cards that currently rules Washington, D.C. It really does take a true outsider to expose the deep-rooted corruption of a system that's so rotten, no one inside the system can be trusted to investigate anything. Robert Mueller or anyone. If we can keep Trump in the White House for 4 more years, he will tear into these fraudsters, crooks, exposing the whole damn thing. The whole house of cards will come crumbling down. And that's the real reason why the Democrats are trying to impeach him. Again, this is Michael from the Patriot Hour. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you're subscribed. Think about being a member. Join the channel. Take a look down in the description box. All the links are down below. Thanks for all the donations. We truly appreciate it. And leave a comment as well. Some of the greatest patriots all around the world right here, part of the Patriot Hour. Some of the greatest patriots I ever did meet, pointing you in the right directions, leading you into other articles and great discussions. So leave a comment down below and help share this video. Hit the share button, share it across all of your social media platforms while you can. We are heavily shadow banned, and again, we appreciate it. God bless, Godspeed to each and every one of you.